KOKI UK is a seasoned writer with close to 10 years of experience editing books and writing on several websites. She is passionate about empowering women to approach work and life confidently. Have you ever felt cheated by life? Have you ever felt as if everyone else's life seems to be on course but yours? Chosen Not Cheated is a book that seeks to answer these questions and more. It's a book for those of us who've lived our lives feeling ripped off. It gives an open invitation for you to look back at your life and see all the ways you've been chosen by God even when you feel cheated. It took her 5 years to write this incredible book that's all about the beautiful broken life we're called to live. Our pain, disappointments, hope deferred, and unanswered questions. She records that this book has been a fierce fight, asking her to believe every word God spoke over her life, even when the vision board of her life didn't stack up quite right in real life. It was the wind in her sails in seasons when she felt cheated and questioned God's presence in her life. Her writing resonates with many because she's intentional about being real, honest, and promoting togetherness. Why? Because she's after hearts, not eyes. That's why words are her main currency, but vulnerability carries the most value.
Good morning to you. My name is Catherine. Thank you so much for joining us today on Books and Blogs. We review again, but with a bigger setting, Chosen Not Cheated by none other than KOKI Oyuke. And she has with her a group of your friends, I think, or people you know. Yes, so introduce them.
So on this corner, we have the wonderful Sheila. She's an advocate, so she's the one you should go to when you have anything that is a legal problem.
Okay.
Yeah, she does good things.
Okay.
Let me tell you, next we have Emily. Emily is a high school teacher.
All
You
right.
had that right.
Okay.
Young and fun and teaching the next generation.
Wow.
Next to me is Karama, who, as you can see, speaks fashion. He's a fashion stylist.
Okay.
Big time.
Nice.
And then we have,
I like his shirt.
he made it.
Oh.
Yes, he
Okay.
made it.
Okay.
And then next we have Charlene, who is an early childhood educator, right? So Montessori and the like, so
Okay.
all the good stuff.
Yeah.
And then we have Grace, who you know from the last show, who, my goodness,
For many shows.
many shows,
Yeah.
popping and killing it in color. Transport, it's a transport coordinator.
She's in the transport
In
business,
the
girl.
transport business, yes, we can't box you.
Yeah.
And then Faith gave me trouble with how to introduce her because I want to call her the CEO and the founder. No. So Faith, maybe you will tell us so that I don't call you CEO, founder. She's a consultant for
Okay.
the FICA.
Cool.
And we have Lispa, who I'm meeting her today, who looks so good. I'm in the fashion business.
I like your hair.
Thank you. I'm a student at University of
Are you studying like fashion?
What are you
Think
studying?
about
I'm studying language and communication.
Oh, nice. Good one.
Thank you guys for coming.
Oh, well, girl, so did you just take over then?
No, they're my friends. Just saying
You did
thanks.
that so well. Gosh, to such an occasion. So I'm assuming we've all read this book? Yes? Okay, let me start with the only man in our midst, Karomo, yes?
Yes.
This book, what spoke to you?
I think it's the realness in it.
Ah.
The fact that it's written by a woman, but as a guy will be like, I
Relatable.
relate with this one.
Yes.
And then, like examples like, I know this is so Kenyan. I think it's been a while finding a book that can be, I know this sport, I know this song, I know this, I know exactly what it
this
says.
food.
Yes.
Yes.
And then I think it's also a good time to interact with a woman's mind without having us to talk.
Kwani are you saying you don't interact with your fashion business? Who do you design for?
No, it's not like that. This time is like it's you thinking to yourself and words written, not a back and forth.
I see. Oh,
So there's no that 10,000 words next to
what
it.
are you
It's
saying?
just like,
Grace,
it
what
was a
is
good
Karomo
experience
saying?
for once. For once it was a good experience, yeah.
Oh, you're not being talked back to?
Yes, there's no
Oh my
tech. Yeah, it's just sitting and like,
Okay.
I understand.
What happens in your life? You have painted a very wild picture, but it's fine. Okay, so the realness.
Yes.
Okay, what about you, Emily?
Same. It's very real, very true, and relatable. The stories are
And most importantly as well, the fact that she can come out and say some things that you would cringe to actually say. I was reading and I'm thinking,
Did she just say that?
and she's saying things you would feel fearful to say.
Okay.
So everything she's put in the book, it's like true occurrences that we normally don't put out there.
Yeah. Okay. I think fearful because it's in the context of a church girl. Because people in the church really keep lots inside, like because there's this way we need to be seen.
Yeah.
So I concur with you if it's along those lines of this church Galiani, this wild church thing. So there are people like this in the church, because in the world people write their stuff openly, judge me or not. Me, I don't know what you guys do in church. So then they'll write, and those books are there. But for a church girl to just be so out there, and I think that's why for me the relatability really, it touched a chord. It really did. Sheila, you've been nodding yani to every point. What is it?
I'm a nodder.
You're a nodder? Oh my goodness.
I support.
Really? Okay.
It's so
Oh,
funny
I love
that-
your earrings. Black
Thank
queen.
you. Yes, I am a black queen, kind of brown, but still black.
Okay.
It's so funny that I know KOKI, and
Okay.
I've known her from 2012.
Where'd you meet?
We met in church.
Oh, okay.
So you'd think that I know everything about her until I just opened this book. I'm like, I didn't know this much. You know, sometimes we think that when we relate with one another, we think we get to understand people until they introduce us to a deeper level of themselves. And I think that was very bold of you. So I got to know you deeper. Even things that I've never told you, I'm like, I get it. You know, I'm like, so I was so excited about it. Yeah.
Grace, I remember the first time we had this conversation, you said, she has written a book, let us see. Let us see what cynical Grace. Cynical Grace.
You know, I met KOKI in Desta.
Ah.
I think in 2008. And at that point, you know, we were all going on with our business, and we were all in Desta, we were all in university. Basically, you're all going on with your life. And then we were not tight.
Yeah.
We were actually acquaintances.
Okay.
And then I see her post her book, and I thought, let me read what a friend has to write. And I believe that was just obedience from God, that nudge by the Spirit of God that, hey, how about you pick that book? You need it. And when I opened the pages, they spoke to every part of me. It's the vulnerability, it's the truth, it's the boldness, like you're saying it, it's the rawness in her.
Yeah.
It's Christ in her, because like you said, in church we're not seeing that a lot. We're not seeing people coming out boldly, talking about their issues.
Yeah.
Yet Christ was very bold in how he talked, in how he expressed himself. I mean, he's the guy who would say, you brood of vipers. And you're thinking, Jesus, did you just say that? And that was Jesus.
Yeah.
So she expressed that.
I see you have bookmarks there. What have you bookmarked?
Where? If you don't have a nini for this one, you are joking.
What is, where was your bookmark? I wanted you to go there. You've changed
It's actually, I didn't change. It's everything is beautiful here. It's that chapter.
Okay, we'll come, you break it down for us a bit more, but Lispa, so you haven't met KOKI, it's your first time?
Yeah.
Wow, how must that feel?
It feels good.
Okay.
And also, as I was reading the book,
Yeah.
it's written in a sassy way. So
Yes,
so
I said that
sassy.
the
So I was
first time,
wondering,
yeah.
is she sassy in person? And then now interacting with her, yeah, she's just so sassy and so wonderful.
Yeah.
It's nice to meet her.
Oh, nice. Okay, so how did you get to know about the book?
I was watching the show
Okay.
when you first reviewing the book,
Right.
and you were giving away.
Oh, you're one of the winners. Oh my God. What did you say to win the book?
It was about the analogies about carrying the crown, setting the table, and I remember I had heard about them, but I really wanted to know and read more about it, and
Right.
I hadn't gotten to do that.
Yeah.
So this was the perfect chance for me to read about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, nice. Gee, KOKI, how must it feel to have?
It's always such a trip, I think. Not just friends, because also my mom read it, and then also my dad is reading it. And it's the people who are close to you, people who don't know you, when they tell you what the book means to them. I think for me, what it's done is it's really made me very thankful that I went through with it, because even when I had finished it, I genuinely felt like I was telling my husband, are you lying to me? That this book is nice because we are married. I asked the lady who helped me, the wonderful lady, Mary Kamau, who helped edit the book. I was like, she's lying to me. You know, she's just thinking, you know, this is my friend.
Yeah.
We've been to school together. I was like, honestly, are you lying to me? Is there room for this book? But I think I get so surprised that it's resonated with people from all walks. All walks, I'll even say economic classes.
Yes.
People who are just starting school, people who are working, people who started their own businesses.
Yeah.
And I legitimately wanted to write the subtitle as for people who feel behind in life. But like, I think God told me no, like you'll be boxing people in. But I wrote it from that perspective, and to find that it's meeting people where they are, I think I'm just blown away every single day.
Yeah, wow, this relationship here. Okay. Charlene, the book. Hi. So the book for you.
Wow, I loved the rawness that everyone has put it. There's a place where she was like, she said, I want to be paid to be myself. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then I've been through that place where you don't, that transition between maybe uni and then getting a job. And it's that, what do you tell people who you are? Because everyone on IG is like, oh yeah, the team facilitator, producer, you know. And then she says, I want to be paid to be myself. So I was just like, wow, that's very bold. And that candid conversation with your mom's friend and your mom. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing, because I went through that, you know, that transition when I left my non-profit, the non-profit I was working for, and I didn't know where to start or where to go. And I knew I had talent and a gift, but I didn't know how to transition. And now I'm working with children from having a degree in peace and conflict. That's just like two worlds.
Wow, yeah. How did that happen?
Yeah.
Peace and conflict. Oh, but I can see how, actually, yeah.
Because I was in the field most of the time with children,
Yes.
a lot. And yes, you'd be doing administrative work in the office, but I was in the field with children a lot, and I was just like, I think I want to do something more one-to-one with them. So that's why I went to do Montessori. I studied about that. And when I read what she said, I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Because how can you be disconnected from who you are in whatever you're doing?
Yeah.
So it's that.
Wow. Okay. Faith, which chapter spoke to you?
I think it's the introduction.
Oh, the introduction.
I was skeptical about it. I saw
you
it on social media, and I thought, So I looked it up on Kindle, and I read the first chapter. No, I actually read the forward. From the first chapter, and I thought, there might be something there. Read it, and I think I was telling her today morning, I've been lending it out, and I've been like,
tell them to buy themselves a copy.
they're not coming in as fast. So, you tell someone to the bookshop there, so I'm like, you're talking to somebody, and you hear what they're talking about and what they're going through, and I think that you're in between. Something you should read. So I'm like, so I actually had to go and pick it today morning. Like, can't find another copy. Let me go pick it.
Wow.
I think for me, the introduction, for the in-betweeners, and I think that failure is not a straight line, but success is a straight line, and for a lot of us, we find ourselves there. There's always something. What you say, you can relate.
Yes.
Everybody can relate.
Yeah.
Your grandmother, you.
It's true. Yeah,
So that's what I
irrespective
love
of
about
age, yeah. That's true. And that's actually also the kind of feedback we're getting on social. Everyone just saying, just from the show we had before, the things the different people talked about, they wanted the book for that. They're like, this book is speaking to me. Even across religious divides, So yes, it's written by a Christian, but you found even other religions, people in other religions wanted the book. You know, I think I actually gave one to a Muslim, if I'm not wrong.
A friend of mine who's also a Muslim got 2 friends.
Is it? Yeah. So it's because of that, it's our story. It's what Karomo said. It's actually our story. So on your bookmark, is that where you've reached after your 3rd, 4th reading?
Like you go back. Yeah, this is where I am right now.
Okay.
Third reading.
Uh-huh.
This is, everything is beautiful here. And actually, when you're reading it, things are not beautiful in that chapter. It's when her and her husband are having different places where God is speaking to them about when they're going to get married and they're planning for their wedding and things are just not adding up, finances and stuff. And I mean, all these things are coming in and you're wondering what's beautiful here. It's true. Yeah. And so you're wondering, so what is beautiful? But it's in that mess that they find their beauty. And what I like about this chapter in particular is a phrase that she actually says, and she talks about shame and she talks about guilt. When you entertain those 2 things, basically you paralyze your life. But when you allow those things not to get a hold of you, basically I'm paraphrasing the book, when you allow those things not to have a hold of you, then you have power over your life. And that's where the beauty comes in for me.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times do we condemn ourselves? Do we go through the guilt trip about something? Do we go through shame because of something? And hey, it's okay, but now let it go. It's okay, move on. And that's the most beautiful process.
I like that. KOKI, why you wrote the book?
I wrote the book because I needed to read this book. That's the truth. I kept on thinking the kinds of books I read are memoirs because I find it easier to follow through someone's life and the lessons because I get to see what you've been through, what you've learned. You'll be able to talk without a filter about what you've been through. And I wish there was a book like that for me who was finishing uni and wondering how is my life going to flow? Will everything be okay? I used to want guarantees from God, and up until this point I've realized He just lights up the path for you as you step, and that's so annoying. But I got to have so much peace with it. So I wrote. It encapsulates the moment I was finished with uni and life after that, because it's a book I wanted to read at that point. Again, as you said, in between. It's about the in between where you're not there, but you're not where you used to be, and it's about the middle. Actually, it's about middle living between the promises that you feel and know are yours and where you are. And I made sure I was as honest as possible. I think because from that point in 2012, I really did the hard work of confront your stuff, KOKI. And I think from what people tell me, because I'm able to just lay it bare, no filter, this is the ugly, it's really helped people do that for themselves. Because I feel like we can go around in circles in our lives and then we never confront the simple. It's for like, I feel like I'm a bad wife. Can someone say that? No one is saying it out there. Everyone is just like, oh, TTJ is talking about Sarita and saying they've gone through tough times, and I'm like, what tough times?
Yes.
Tell me. I mean, yeah, people talked about your family, but like between you two, how was it? No one was giving that. So I had to do it because I felt I needed it. So I became the case study, and I'm happy that everyone else is. Hopefully you guys are being honest. Otherwise,
you are doubting
my
again.
sweat and my tears. I'm joking.
Don't sweat it. Don't sweat
Don't sweat the small stuff.
Lispa, which part of KOKI's story did you relate with the most?
Oh, that's really hard to say.
Okay, it's
I
everything.
love them all. First of all, for me, this book is like advice from my elder sister.
Okay.
Yeah, because some of the things I cannot relate to. because I haven't gotten to that stage. But I think my favorite part is where she says about finding your purpose and asking yourself the hard questions and being honest with yourself. That's the most wonderful part. I really loved it.
So how are you applying it in your life?
For the longest time, I've always been that clueless girl who doesn't know what she's going to do with that.
We all have to date. It doesn't stop until you die, I think. Yeah.
But fortunately enough, I think I've figured it out. And this book for me is like a roadmap. I already know that it's not going to be easy. Nothing is easy. But sometimes you forget. You're like, come on, God, give me a break. Let me catch a break. So for me, it's a reminder to always remind myself that it's never easy. I'm going to go through stuff and I'm going to be fine. And God has a plan for me. And also to be patient. There is a part where she says about God gives us what we can handle. So sometimes it's really hard. I'm just like, why is it not happening?
Yeah.
And I'm just reminded that God is giving me what I can handle, so I should appreciate that right now. And more is coming. I just have to be patient and endure.
Yeah. Karomo, the aspect of humor in giving this story, in sharing this story, was that appealing to you?
Yes, it was. For number one reason is because I know the film also. So you know you can read in her voice.
So you are seeing in her voice?
Yeah, like the way the place where she's like laughing and making jokes, you can read it in her voice.
Okay.
And then she has a heart laugh that she loves. So you can it's like you're laughing, but then you're laughing with like her.
With her.
Mind, yeah, so it's because that part was
Okay.
so
What
really
about
nice.
for you, Emily?
The whole book is just amazing. Things up there. But the one that stood out the most was the art of invisibility. I love that part.
Yeah.
Because when I was getting this book, I remember when I met KOKI in church, 3 years ago. She looked so put together. You know, the way she sings, the way she talks. And then to read the book and I'm thinking, okay, so we can relate. And then in the art of invisibility, she talks about living in the, living in the in-between. It's not always about what's at the end. And because when I was reading it, I had this pressure to always be someone, to always do something. Your parents on this. You like in every constant stage in your life, you always want to be something because of something. But when I read The Art of Invisibility, I was like, yes, now I don't have to be people, for people. I can be for myself. I can laugh at my troubles. I can, I can go through the process without having the need to show that I'm fine or I'm okay. The way we want to put everything on IG, I feel like that pressure had gone now. Like, I don't need to tell you what I'm doing. I don't need to post. Like, I can just be me. Wherever I am, I can wake up, take breakfast, just be okay with what I'm doing, and just make sure I'm growing. And there's also one thing she said, actually two.
Okay.
One is that part where she said, we're so connected, yet so disconnected.
Yeah.
And I'd also read somewhere else that we're so socially connected, but psychologically disconnected. And I thought, that's so very true. Because when you meet someone, for example, when I met you, I'm thinking, I want to be her. I want to talk like that. I just want to be happy.
You want to make people laugh.
Hey, she makes you want to be happy. And I thought, you can actually, you can be yourself in your child. You can just be yourself and be happy in it as you relish in how you can fix it. And then the other part that I was just reading yesterday night is the joy is in the struggle, something like that. It's not where the people who run, like the people who do athletics. We don't know the work they've put in, but when they go up there, they have the accolades, or Beyonce, or any musician for that matter, the work they've put in before they became that famous. I normally used to just want to be there, but never really worked on how many times am I gonna
process.
The process of getting there, the undressing of your worries, your fear, your strengths, and how you're gonna be all that. So, to be honest, the whole book
If I start talking, I'll finish.
You won't finish, but at least you've unpacked that chapter of invisibility. That's a strong. Even just calling it a gift, I'm like, what do you mean it's a gift to be invisible? But that was a very, very strong chapter. The story in Ghana, you want to unpack that for us? You on your third reading. you who is the manual on your bedside. Because I think what happened in Ghana was a turning point, if I'm not wrong. But yes, you could help us unpack that.
I think for me, it's the story in Ghana you can relate with it in your office, in your meetings when you're having some tea with your girls, or because there'll always be that question of where are you going? And at that point, she was feeling like all of it just stopped. And you don't even need to know that I'm here. I'll be just sipping it as I'm listening to you.
Yes.
But you know, there's always that person in the crowd that will keep pointing at you. So you, and you're like, duh. But you know, it's at that point that uncomfortable feeling of what she was going through at that point is what brought the awakening.
Yes.
And sometimes we can choose to dwell in that place, and that's where we have a lot of people going into depression because you choose to simmer and stay there. But she chose to look at it and just turn it around for her good.
Yeah.
And that's where her awakening came from.
Yeah.
There were so many instances in Ghana, but I'm choosing the one where she went out with her friends.
She was out in the night, yes.
And you have those people asking you, so you got married. Okay, so when are you having babies?
Yeah.
Like it will never be enough.
Yeah.
You're still single. Okay.
What's happening? There are no men in Kenya.
Okay.
No, yes.
So what are you doing now?
Yes.
And it also reminds you as you're reading that not to be that person.
Yeah, man, you don't want someone else to go through that.
Yeah.
What you're going through at that time. Yeah.
Don't put someone in such a situation. I don't have to ask you where you are at. I just need to know, are you happy?
Yeah.
I mean, how many people ask you,
Are you happy?
I mean, I think that is the question that you should be asking.
Yeah.
Are you happy?
I want the book club. You should be saying,
You know.
are you happy?
Are you happy? and maybe it's in are you happy that I will actually raise it up and say, no, I'm actually confused. I don't know where I am. And I need you to help me as a friend. And by the time you ask me, so what are you doing? I'm already judged. So at that point, I start condemning myself and I block you. That's why you have people, they're not talking anymore. You had a friend, they shut out. No, it's something that triggered.
Yeah.
So what I like about the Ghana incident is a big megaphone being put on you that, hey, be sensitive.
That's the lesson. The Ghana story, reading it, I was like, why are you coming back to Kenya? Just stay there with mom. Just stay there until you figure it out, because I felt like it was a good escape.
Yeah.
So why does it have to be short?
But my problems would find me in Ghana.
I know, but see, that's what we do most of the time. People live here, go join their families abroad until, because staying in Kenya, that pressure of what are you doing now? When you're abroad, you can easily lie and no one cares. They're too busy to care. But for as long as you're here, so I kept saying, why has she come back? I didn't have your strength to come back. It was me. It was me, but anyway, you came back for us. We take a break, we come back, guarantee for sure, in a few.